this is a local item, and you might have heard about this, but it's relating to custody of a child. And again, that parental exchange. And clearly, we all know people that have had miserable separations, miserable divorces. You know, the custody gets tricky. You've got like a man and a woman, they hate each other. They've got a kid in common. And you got to do the handoff. I mean, this gets really, and Michelle, you, when I was teasing this at the end of last segment, you as an attorney, you know, former Hillsborough County Assistant State Attorney, and then you left because we had our kids and everything, but you have gone on to do some pro bono legal work for a legal aid organization here in the Tampa Bay area, and you've seen these, well, you've done several things. You did guardian ad litem.
Right.
Guardian ad litem, and you've done other, you know, pro bono legal charitable work.
Right. The Family Forms Clinic.
There you go.
Yes.
So this is nuts. A woman opened fire at her ex during the handoff, the custody exchange.
Wow.
Well, there are some interesting circumstances. Now, of course, this never would and should provoke gunshots, but it's also probably not the best idea for this guy to do what he did.
What happened? What's the whole story?
Here's the deal. This woman in Clearwater fired shots at baby daddy while they were involved in a custody exchange. The baby daddy, the woman's former, apparently brought his new girlfriend to the custody exchange.
All right.
Probably don't provoke the situation by bringing your new girlfriend to the custody exchange.
Was he aware that the situation was that heated?
Yeah. Like,
God.
you know, you don't want to do anything antagonistic
Yeah,
in these situations, but
so they were exchanging the child during the custody exchange. The father, obviously, this is an ugly, ugly situation, contentious, nasty. And the guy brings his new girlfriend. This happened back on Feb 27. 25-year-old Aisha Dennis arranged to meet her ex to do an exchange, a custody exchange. They have an 8-month-old child together. So the woman's ex shows up at the designated meeting spot with the new ride, with the new girlfriend. And that's when Aisha clearly was not happy with this situation. They started fighting, and this escalated to her whipping out a gun and firing shots. Jeez. So the ex and the new girlfriend, they initially were able to de-escalate. So there was initially a de-escalation.
All right.
But then Aisha then comes back.
She wasn't having it.
Then she's armed, pulls out a gun, described in the police report as a silver semi-automatic, points the gun at the baby daddy and the baby daddy's new girlfriend. He goes to grab the gun, apparently. The firearm discharges. We got bullets flying all over a relationship gone bad and the simple exchange of custody over an 8-month-old child. Nobody was struck by this. Could have been a really ugly. I was looking at the Clearwater police report, and it also notes that Aisha's on felony probation, so she's not permitted to have a firearm, and of course she did, and it was silver and shiny, and goes bang.
All right.
So she was not able to possess a firearm, which she did. They have her on house arrest, and now she's additional charges of aggravated assault, shooting a deadly missile within an occupied dwelling. She also was whacked with felon in possession of a firearm, and then She tried to run from police, so they slapped a fleeing and eluding on her as well. She seems like Aisha. Aisha seems like a real treat.
Mm-hmm.
So how does this affect the custody situation moving forward?
Yeah, you know what? I'm thinking baby daddy might have a really good case.
I mean, if he wants it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking baby daddy might have a really good case in this matter. But these custody situations,
8-month-old baby.
Listen, you can have a contentious relationship that went south. You can have a very contentious divorce. But a lot of times, while maybe it's not pleasant, the exchange of the kids, in many cases, goes off as court-ordered. What?
No.
What? No, what?
It's very complicated because everybody's got it's such a highly emotional situation and everybody's tense about it, and it's never like that. We would often say, if you feel like it's necessary and you're not getting along with the other party, find a safe place to exchange custody. And it often is in the parking lot of a law enforcement office somewhere.
I want to say that some law enforcement agencies even have like a custody exchange area or a sign in the parking lot. There was a Florida law. We can talk about this in a second, but I don't mind going to phones on this. Just quickly, I'm not going to belabor it. Just a few calls. If you've got a story, were you ever involved in a really contentious custody situation, or did you have to resort to exchanging the child in like a sheriff's office parking lot? And again, there's a Florida law, which I can get to in a second, that was enacted not too long ago, actually. But, when I saw the story locally, this happened in Clearwater with the custody exchange and the gunshots, and Aisha is in trouble.
Yeah, she's in big trouble.
I did a search here, and I found a whole Reddit exchange, custody exchanges at a police station. Do you both remain in your vehicle for kids that are 11 and 16? And I think they're old enough just to do the swap where the two exes don't have to actually
hand over a bag.
Yeah, or have any communication if things are rough. But listen, I'd love to talk to folks. Couple of calls. If you have been in a situation where you've had to do a custody exchange in a police station or sheriff's office parking lot, or if you had a custody situation with any kind of a crazy outcome, I'm not saying it has to involve gunshots like Aisha in Clearwater, but if you got any kind of a crazy angle or anything you want to share regarding, custody swaps, 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047 gets you on the MJ Morning Show. Look, Holly's already on hold. Holly, I'll be right there. But a whole Reddit thread. Custody exchange at police station. Listen to this from Reddit. We have a high conflict situation filled with false calls to the police, child protective services, etc. My ex and I had a nasty disagreement, so we agreed to move our exchange to the local police station for it to be safe and easy on the kids. Ex arrives late, whatever. Kids get out of the car before they walk over. Ex and his girlfriend exit the car and get into their path. Anyway, there's a whole story. Similarly, with like a new girlfriend or boyfriend. All right, let me go to phones on this. And then there's actually a new Florida law that went into effect. And hang on, the date on this thing.
I think it was last year.
Yeah, I think it was 2024. This is very, very recent. Yeah, I printed the story out, but it didn't give me, July 1, 2024.
Yep.
So there was a whole new thing. Look at the phones. Let me grab Holly here. Holly, hi, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Welcome.
Hey, good morning. Yeah,
You have an Aisha situation?
Yeah, so my situation was I was with this guy for about 4 to 5 years.
Right.
In the beginning, you guys know how it is. It's, love and light. Everything's good. But towards the middle and the end, he got very aggressive and very angry towards me. And about 5 to 10 times, he always threatened, if you get with somebody else, best believe if I see you guys, I will pull out my firearm and take both of y'all out.
Oh, my God.
Well, yeah, and this was while I had a kid involved, all right? So when we were like doing the whole custody, coming during the weekends, he takes care for the weekend. You best believe I was at that police department because I was so afraid
Yeah.
that he was going to pull out any firearms, take me, the person that I was with, and including my son out. And I was like, this is not going to happen. So I literally went into the police department, explained what would happen,
Yep.
and they literally came outside while the guy showed up just to make sure that nothing would happen to my kid. And then eventually I got it to where he could no longer take my child from me on the weekend.
Oh, wow. All right. So
Yeah.
you actually went to a law enforcement parking lot to do the exchange.
Yep.
Holly, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. Michael's in look at the phones.
Everyone.
I don't know if I want to take this many calls because I got to move on. But Michael in Tampa, hi, you're on the MJ Morning Show.
Yeah, this was like 28 years ago. But my ex was so bad about exchanging custody that finally had to go back to court. And the judge specifically put in the order special directive to all law enforcement officers. This order is to be enforced as far as custody exchange, to the point where they would walk in and they tell her, you have two choices. One, you give them the kids, we leave. Two, we take the kids, we give them the kids, take you to jail, we leave. But one way or another, he's leaving with those kids.
Wow. And Michael, this is a while ago. Did it get resolved or was it just a crap show?
Well, after 2 or 3 threats from law enforcement of, we're going to take you to jail if you're going to play this, she finally decided, but
Gotcha.
to this day, she can pound sand.
To this day, she can still pound sand.
Yeah.
How'd the kids turn out, Michael?
I had 2 daughters, and we have 5 grandkids.
Oh.
And
So you're saying the kids turned out okay?
my kids are wonderful. Love them to death. Beautiful girls.
That's
Gave me
fantastic.
5 beautiful grandkids.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate the call. James and Wesley Chapel. James, MJ Morning Show, welcome.
Hey, this is when about 22 years ago now, I lived in Rockland County, New York.
Yep.
I was working as a coworker was telling me about.
Were you in, Suffern, Nanuet, New City, Nyack?
Yeah.
Nyack? All right.
Yeah.
I'm a Nanuet boy.
So, and this is almost identical to this situation where he's telling me about the exchange, and I knew his girlfriend was, I wouldn't say she was unstable, but she had a temper, and he was almost the exact same thing. He was bringing his new girlfriend, and I was telling him, dude, do you want to do that? You want to poke the bear or something?
Yeah.
And he didn't listen to me, and his ex-girlfriend was like 5'1", very petite girl, got so pissed off. And I guess anger, man, you become Hercules. She picked up, he told me, a big boulder and smashed it out of his car.
Hold on. The
boulder?
5'1" petite girl picked up a huge boulder and smashed it onto her car, onto his car?
His car. Yep, absolutely.
Holy crap.
So, police came. She got arrested. They eventually dropped charges. I guess they eventually made peace. He left the company shortly thereafter.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. A 5'1" woman taking a huge boulder and throwing it at the ex's car.
But imagine, like, holy mac, because I had met her once, and it's like, she picked up, and he told me, because he's describing the size of the boulder.
How big was the boulder?
What's that?
How big was the boulder?
I would say, if I was to measure it in my head, about 1.5 feet wide.
That's a big rock.
About 6 inches, like, height.
And the only thing funnier would be if this happened in Boulder, Colorado.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
All right, thank you. Thank you, James. Julio in Lakeland. All right, Andrew, wrap things up here. I'll take 2. I'll take Julio, then Wendy, and I got to move on. Got a situation with Chloe. Michelle and I feel so bad for Chloe. Little situation last night. Julio, go ahead. You're on the MJ Morning Show.
Hi, how you doing? So this happened about 22 years ago or so. I went to court because my ex told the cops that I dragged her on the driveway, which didn't happen. So she slapped a restraining order on me, and I didn't know what that meant. So when they told me I couldn't see my kids, I started crying in court. So the judge said that I was crying, that I was getting too emotional, and then I was a danger to my children. So they asked me to go to psychological evaluation, which I couldn't afford. So I eventually, after crying to so many people, they sent me to those places where you go get therapy for people that are in drugs. So they charged me $5. So after 8 months, I was able to get supervised visits 1 hour every other week.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And
that's a
while I
nightmare.
was there, you know, the 20-year-olds who didn't have any kids said I couldn't cry because, you know, that was not part of the visit. And eventually, after about 2 years, I was able to get them every other weekend, and then we had to exchange them in a parking lot and a police station.
Yeah, see, and that's there's a new Florida law. Julio, thank you, buddy. All right, last call here quickly. Wendy, Tampa, go.
Hello.
Yes, Wendy, you're on. Quickly, go.
Yes, we did this back in the late 80s with my husband's divorce because every Monday after our visitation, we would be called to DCF for bruises or whatever, so we had to protect ourselves.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks for the call. And then wrapping this up, there was a Florida law that went into effect July 1 of last year, 2024. This is, not even a year old. New Florida law creating designated areas at sheriff's offices for separated parents with split custody to safely exchange children is going into effect July 1. And that was last year that occurred.
I tell you, man, even though Aisha's been arrested and none of her actions were the right one,
Mm-hmm.
you don't mess with Aisha.
No.
I mean, yeah, she probably should have thought twice before doing any of it, but she handles her business. Don't mess with her. Get out of her way.
That new girl's running.
Purple signs at sheriff's offices across Florida designate child exchange zones where parents can drop off their kids without fear of harm to themselves or their children. The color purple represents domestic violence awareness.
All right, so what color are the social media swap spots?
That's another thing.
I mean, are they the same spots?
It's like online marketplace stuff.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
but
but
it's not like social media, but
Facebook Marketplace and that kind of stuff.
And that's another thing that they encourage people to do is to go to the police stations or sheriff's office parking lots to do deals. PlayStation 5 for sale on Facebook Marketplace or like an eBay local pickup arrangement. Don't meet. Don't go to someone's house. That you might not know, or just meet in a public place, and it's believed that doing it in a police parking lot will deter any kind of shenanigans.
Huh. I mean, I would hate to go somewhere, go to a police station to pick up an end table. There's some squabbling ex-couple bickering about the 4-year-old. Ugh.
You like the video? If so, go ahead and click like, share, subscribe, and get more.